Welcome, welcome to another episode of the Gamers Roundtable. This is episode 56, where we are gamers talking about video games. I am Leafx, the host of the show here, and I got some lovely friends joining me today. We're going to talk about video games. We got some video games news for you, and after that, we're going to go into some other discussion if we have any with that. If anybody has anything specific they want to talk about, but to start off, I'm going to introduce you guys to everyone so you know who you're listening to. Down at the end, we have the beautiful Charles. Hello, Charles.
Hello.
How are you doing on this wonderful day?
I'm feeling so pretty today. Look at it.
Beautiful. Letting the hair down. He's living wild today.
Yeah.
And next to him, we have the wonderful Sarah. Hello, Sarah, and thanks for joining us.
I'm wonderful, not beautiful. Yay!
Someone's clearly better than beautiful.
And once again, I am the descriptive Brody, aka LeafX, and I'm gonna keep these ducks in a row here, and we're gonna talk about video games. But first, I want to know what you guys have been playing this week. Also, first, actually, before that, even I'm gonna shout out if you guys are just joining us, make sure you go into the live Q&A at the side so you can ask us questions, talk to us, join us in the discussion. If you are gamers like us, and even if you're not, just ask some questions. We'll see if we can answer you to the best of our ability. And we do this every week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. EDT, so you can join us all the time and go to youtube.com/gamersroundtableshow to make sure you can catch up with any of our previous episodes. There are still some relevant things in them, although even I guess the news may not be as relevant in some of them. But let's go down the line, see what you guys are playing this week. If you've picked up anything interesting, we're going to start with you, Sarah, this time. Have you been playing anything cool and awesome this week?
I've been spending most of my free time painting, getting ready for a game swap that's happening on Sunday. So Zach and I have a vendor's table, so we're exhibiting there, and we'll be selling some hand-done video game-related canvases. But we did find some time in between painting to play some co-op Diablo 3 on our PS4. So that's about it. Pretty light week for me gaming-wise.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah, the game swaps take up a lot of time from what I've heard. I know, obviously, a few people that are in those, but I heard they can be pretty fun just hanging out and selling some stuff.
Yeah, 5 hours of people with pockets filled with cash ready to spend. So I've been to quite a few myself as just a customer. Last one I went to, I picked up a fight stick so that I could work on my Street Fighter games. So I really like them. It is a good environment. I met some people who were doing documentaries at the last one. This one guy traveled all of North America and tried to get all of the NES games in a ridiculously short amount of time and made a documentary about it. And it was really cool talking to him.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be interesting because you definitely get stories from that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess I should probably maybe just setting up a booth there at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bringing our merch.
I'm sure Steven will have some flyers at his table as well to promote Let's Play.
True say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that seems like a good place to get some merch going too. Then I guess everybody's got their pockets full. So. Cool. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
And that's right after Koi Fest too. We got our little tents. If you're in the KW area, make sure you come down to Koi Fest. I mean, you should be coming to Koi Fest anyways. But if you're at Koi Fest, or when you're at Koi Fest, come join us. Let's Play KW has a tent out there. We're gonna have some video games set up so you guys can play. We're gonna have little challenges throughout the day and be giving away some prizes. So come out, play video games, and win some stuff. You can't really go wrong with that at all, right? Super
Definitely
sweet.
not.
And Charles, have you found any cool games? What have you been playing this week? What's been going on in your
Drum roll,
game life?
please.
Oh, I wonder if you guys can guess. So I'm playing. The only game that I really play this week is Dota. I was invited by a bunch of my friends to participate in this Reddit Dota tournament that they're having sometime near the end of October. So I have to finish my placement matches, which is terrifying. Yeah. I've done one of them, and it went surprisingly well. So
ladder anxiety.
Ladder anxiety is real. It's a real thing. Yeah. If you guys don't believe me, try it.
It's well, to be honest, it happened on a lower extent. Any time I play any game that tracks your stats, even be it Call of Duty, just this, I will never let anyone touch my account when it comes to Call of Duty. you get anxious about losing those little bit of points. But on anything with a ladder like that, it's just, I can imagine the scale is just so much more intense because
Yeah.
that's placements. Like you gotta do good, right? So
Yeah, you gotta fight for good placement,
and then
I
you end
need
up, sorry.
I need to get a minimum rating in order to actually qualify for the tournament. So it's a little bit scary, but
Well, good luck, Charles. I wish you the best of luck.
other than that, I ran a game of Pathfinder on Sunday. My first ever time running a game, so I can cross that off of my list.
Pathfinder
Is like D&D 3.5 or
okay.
3.75.
I remember. Yeah, you were saying that, and you said that went well then, eh?
Yeah, that went well.
Beautiful. I gotta get into D&D. I guess you guys are putting the pressure on.
You're welcome at both of our tables.
All right, I'm gonna create like 40 different characters and have them fight each other. Can I
You're
play as
allowed
like
to be a
5
druid
people?
in Charles' story, apparently.
Yeah, you'll just have to be a
Everybody's
druid,
druids.
which is what everyone is.
That's awesome. Now, myself, I've been moving. As you can see, there's a couple shelves missing from my background there. Getting on the go, but I've left my game systems, the important one at the moment. And I was gonna blame my absence last week on this specific game because it would make total sense. But I've been playing a heck of a lot of Destiny. Not enough because I'm still I'm almost level 20, but I've been messing around with my friends doing different things. And it's I'm gonna go into a bit of that Destiny right now, just because I think I'm the only one that's here that's been playing Destiny, as far as I know.
Yep.
Yeah. So Destiny is first and foremost an amazing game. Secondly, it's not what I expected, but it's still freaking amazing, and I can't wait to play it again. And I'm getting cravings, but what I more expected from it, for people that don't know what Destiny is for some reason, Destiny is an MMORPG FPS made by Bungie, the guys that made Halo, so it's very Halo-esque in that sense. But I expected more of a World of Warcrafty kind of world. You know, it was open. You go wherever you want. You go do your missions, and that's it. But this is very instance-based. You're put in an instance of a mission, and people will randomly pop into that instance that you have. Kind of like in Grand Theft Auto, people will join an instance of that world. So people will join an instance of that mission. So it's not as open as it would be. There are, the loading times when you're flying in your ship in between things. You're not just open world the whole time. In fact, I actually had an issue halfway through a level. I just got stopped and I couldn't move because the rest of the level was loading, I guess. But it's that, and that aspect is not what I expected, but I can get where they're going with it. It's the levels and the mission story is designed around this kind of stop and go play. It is a console game, and they figured, I guess, to reach the biggest audience, they can't make a game where you have to dedicate too much time into it in like one chunk. Like, you take little chunks here and there, play it, get off, play it again, because they wanted to reach the most people, and casual audiences don't necessarily always have that same amount of time to get into it. So I understand that that design approach. The other issue I had with it was their classes and the character building seems very simple from what I expected. Again, I was expecting something more along the lines of World of Warcraft, in that sense, or Guild Wars, where it's there's stats affecting these. There's 3 basic stats on each character, and the same on each character. They affect the same things on each character. There's discipline, intellect, and strength, and those just affect your grenade cooldown, your Nova cooldown, or your melee cooldown. And that's simply it. So it's not as intense as I thought it would have been. I thought I could go in and make this character that I was super attached to. And that's the thing. I'm not super attached to this character as much as I would maybe a World of Warcraft character, where that's my person. Whereas this, I'm just like, this is my guy I'm running through this with. I could start up another person and just use them and be happy with that too. Because I could do 2 warlocks, and they're going to be the exact same thing each time. The equipment and how they look like just aesthetically, I said it right, aesthetically might change, but overall stats and that is going to be essentially the same. So there's not as much attachment to the character. But all that being said, I have no other issues with the game at all. It is a beautiful game, as Bungie has always done with their Halo series. It's just absolutely beautiful and stunning. A lot of Halo, I guess, touches to it. You can see for sure, like, the dropships coming in and all that stuff is just very Halo-esque. But it does have its own vibe to it, and I like that. Just the universe you're in is very different than the Halo universe. Very different. The only thing is the story is really light at the moment, but obviously we got expansion packs coming out very soon, which I've already purchased. And I'm excited for that because there's a lot of questions I have left. You guys can't relate to any of these questions because you don't know any of the story, but stories as in, like, where are the Guardians from? Why are there some regular humans? Why are there some Guardians? All that kind of stuff, but won't get too much into it because you guys don't know about it. I don't know if you guys plan on playing at all in the future. If you guys want to get the game, you guys already have it. If anybody wants to borrow one of my 2 PS4s, you can, if you get the game. But yeah, it's a very fun game to play with your friends. I got into a strike mission. So strike is like a raid, where you have an extremely hard boss at the end of this, like kind of path you go along. And I didn't realize I was getting into a strike. I just joined this. I thought it was the next story mission, so I joined into it, and randomly 3 other ships joined in with me. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Why am I joining in with other people? None of my friends joined me, and I realized I was playing with other people. So when we got the end and we're facing this big ass monster, it was cool to kind of teamwork with these guys. I had no idea. I have no way of communicating with them. Besides, like, shooting something and saying going that way. No way to communicate with them.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hit level 20.
Taking down. Oh, that's loud. Taking down this big monster with people I don't know was kind of a cool experience, and that was something that I can get. I remember Bungie saying they want you to create the experiences, and that was something cool. That I'm sure if I went through with other people, the strike would be completely different. Because at one point we all huddled in one spot because we didn't know what to do. Eventually I broke out and we figured out what to do. I'm sure it would go different with other people. So it was cool in that sense. It's a cool world and it's fun, and I can't wait to see what they do with expansions. I hope they keep creating content for it. And actually they just opened up the Vault of Glass, which is a new raid, a new strike. So I think they have plans to keep content going for it. And I'm excited. I'm excited to keep playing it. I just really hope they can make the character involvement and the character building a little more complicated, just because it is a little too simple at the moment. Again, I get it. They have to appeal to a lot of people. I don't know if they'll do that in the next Destiny, because I know they want to make a franchise, or if they'll add that to this. But yet, I hope that changes. That's my only super complaint about it. It's just too simple. But otherwise, it's super fun. I actually recommend it to everybody. It is a game that is definitely worth buying, definitely worth playing, and going online and playing with your friends. There's my Destiny monologue. I could go into more, but again, you guys can't talk back about any of the levels in that. But it's honestly a phenomenal game.
I do have some questions for you, just out of curiosity.
I'll see if I can answer them.
Yeah, so when you said you couldn't communicate with the people, that seemed weird to me. Could you not use your headset as if you were in a party with them?
They didn't have mics, so it was more so they couldn't communicate back with me.
Gotcha. Okay, because that sounded weird to me.
Yeah, no, a lot of the times I find my friends, it's actually kind of annoying. I'll be in a mission. I'm like, I just want to do this mission before I go to bed, complete this. And then all my friends start joining into my fire team and start playing with me, and they're just going ahead because they're higher levels, destroying all the enemies. I'm like, oh, now I got to rush to keep up. Can't go at my own pace. That was kind of annoying, but it was cool because my friends are here playing with me. I don't know if there's a way to turn that off. I haven't actually looked. I wasn't too concerned about it, but yeah, no, these people could probably hear me. I wasn't really talking though because they weren't talking back, so they probably could hear me if I said stuff. They probably just heard a couple random cussing words and stuff here and there, but the yeah, they couldn't talk back. They didn't have mics or headsets or anything with them, which is weird because I know the reason that a lot of the shit talking came around and came to be on the Xbox was because every system came with a headset. So every kid and their mother, and every kid doing your mother had a headset. Right?
That was beautiful.
Had a headset so they could talk. Whereas every PlayStation 4 comes with the earbud and the mouthpiece, or the microphone, but I still don't hear a lot of people talking. It's a very, like, when I go into the world, it's very silent. I don't know if maybe that you just can't hear other people, or if and you can only talk to people in your fire team or not. Because I can hear my friends when they're in my fire team, but I don't really ever hear anyone else talking. I think I heard one person yelling something at someone one time. But that's it. So it's just strange that these people aren't using the headsets that they're given, right? Which I'm okay with because it just means that there's no obscene language all over the place, you know. But yeah, that's why I couldn't communicate with them. It's just they didn't have headsets on.
Gotcha. And so then you're not high enough level to have tried the new raid that came out, because I was reading a bit about that on the news. There's a hot topic that some guys powered through it and finally beat it.
Yeah, well, the rumor, I don't know if it's true, I didn't actually look into it too much, was that the first people to beat that raid got some sort of memorial made to them, because apparently it was the hardest raid they've ever done so far. And the first one I did was really hard, so I can only imagine what that would be. Sorry, your tweet just came up in my corner, so I'm laughing at it. Yeah, so apparently it's the hardest one. I'm only 19. I'm almost level 20. I think you had to be level 24 or something to start it.
I think 26, actually.
Okay, 26. Yeah, it was one of those two. I'm laughing at it. So the soft cap is level 20, and then after that you have to get motes of light to advance past that. It's not experience anymore that you have to get. I think you have to find items. I don't know. Again, I'm not at that, so I haven't really looked into it. I just know my friends keep talking about motes of light, and they need light.
It's like post-game.
Yeah, so it's something to keep you going and keep you ranking up. But yeah, the soft cap is level 20. I'm assuming with any of the DLCs and expansions, they'll raise the soft cap. It just makes sense to do. Yeah, no, that's I'm not there yet, so I'm not able to do that mission.
So it's kind of like eye level in World of Warcraft, because once you hit the level cap, it's all about your gear and raising your eye level. So it sounds similar to that. So
that makes sense. The thing is, this does raise your actual level, though. Like there are, again, as you said, you need to be level 26 to do this raid.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's good to keep people involved until the next DLC comes out. Because again, it's been a week now since the game came out, and people have already capped out the game, right? It's no, what do we do beyond here? Especially when character building isn't as complicated as it could be. So it's kind of, I can see myself once all the strikes are done. The things, the strikes are fun to do, so it's not like it's just like, oh, now this game's boring. They're still fun. Mm-hmm. So it's like you know, once I've done all the story, I've hit the level cap. It's like, what am I really accomplishing at the moment, and what am I going for? So, because making the character, every warlock is going to be the same character, right? And it's all about just choosing. Okay, I want a tank on this. I want a support on this, and then you go in together on your missions. But every person is going to have the chance within a month, probably even, to have every character maxed out. So they can just say, all right, I'm going to go in with my tank on this one. You guys bring support. You guys get your DOT, and it's so there's not real any more complications to it than that. Like, it's just simple. So I hope with the expansions it'll change some of that. Again, with Destiny 2, hopefully they can do something to involve you more. But yeah, after that, I can see it getting kind of just like, what am I really doing here?
So then, do you feel like the value is really there for everyone who's, going out, dropping 80 whatever dollars on this game and to be able to reach the level cap in a week? Like, do you think it's worth it, quite honestly?
Here's the thing. I gotta put it. I'm not gonna answer that with a direct answer. I'm gonna let you kind of decide of it. I've put in this week. I've already put in about 20 to 25 hours, and I'm still not maxed. Right? It's just these guys. I had a guy on my friends list who didn't go to sleep that night. He hit level 20 within 24 hours, but he did not sleep. He
Still,
played the
though,
game.
that's 24 hours of gameplay for a new game. Like, that seems really sparse to me.
You think? Because you look at most games nowadays, they're at 6 hours is story length. You look at Uncharted games, that's about 11 to 15 hours.
Yeah, well, you're the only one who plays Uncharted here.
I know, but I'm saying for me, that's a worthy experience. I will pay $60 for 15 hours of entertainment.
See, if Zach was here, he would talk about his 130 hours or whatever on Final Fantasy 13. Like, that's real value.
Here's the thing, though, is these people, there's still rare items out there that nobody has. People are going to hunt for these items. They're going to hunt for this legendary gear. You can even, once you hit a certain level, you can get exotic gear. There's a guy that comes around, you can buy exotic equipment from him only like once a week. Like, people are going to be hunting for this gear, so they're going to get more value out of it for sure. But I would say, honestly, 25 hours for a $60, $70 game, I am totally okay with. That is way more. You go to the casino for 5, 6 hours, you're spending way more than that, and that's your entertainment value, right? So you got to look at, I guess what's important to you. To me, 25 hours of gameplay is definitely worth $70.
And that's fair. Good answer.
So, again, it's all up to you. I mean, if I was playing Hannah Montana, I might not think that 25 hours of gameplay is worth $70. Right? So I don't even know if I could get someone to pay me to do that.
Pay you $70 an hour.
Yeah, it'd have to be something absurd. That's for sure. But yeah, that's Destiny in a nutshell, I guess. Honestly, I think it's worth it. If you guys enjoyed Halo and you'd like that kind of atmosphere and universe, go for it. It's got its own vibe to it, its own thing, but it's that quality experience of a Bungie game. It is downright quality.
Is there anything like an energy sword?
There's one point. It's not an energy sword, but there's one level where you get this power sword thing where you can just it's like a big heavy sword though, but you can use it only for that mission. After that, you lose it. But you can stomp on enemies with it and just blows them away. So that's the closest, only in the sense that it's a sword. But they've done a pretty good job of separating themselves. I mean, a lot of the pulse rifles feel like BRs from Halo, the battle rifles, but it's a gun. There's not much variation you can do. I think the only team that's ever been able to do great variation on weapons has been the Insomniac on Resistance or on why am I forgetting their other games right now? Jak and Daxter, that's it. They're fucking phenomenal at making unique weapons, but in any other game you expect, there's an assault rifle, there's a machine gun, there's a rocket launcher.
Yo, Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
Such unique weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's Insomniac for you. Yeah. Play Resistance. They took that gun design to a whole nother level. It's awesome, very unique. They'll even take traditional weapons and just switch it up. You're like, wow, I've never seen that. It's a pistol, but I can put mines in people and explode them when I want. They do cool stuff.
We've had a weapons episode, but I feel like we should do one specifically on non-traditional weapons. Charles will find that very easy because all of his were tools more than weapons, but whatever.
I love me some tools, okay?
It's because you are one, sir.
Excuse me.
And we're back in Xbox. Yeah, so Destiny, honestly, it'd be great to play with you guys too and go through it, but I recommend it. If you got a PS4, it's a game you gotta or an Xbox One, sorry, too. You got to pick it up. I don't know how the experience is on last gen at all. I haven't heard. I don't know anybody that has it on last gen. Most people, this was their reason to pick up the next gen. So I don't know anybody actually playing on last gen, but
I'm sure we'll pick it up at some point and we can jump on with you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And again, once more expansions and stuff start coming out, I'll be in that. But again, it's gonna cost you. But yeah, so that's Destiny. Having super fun. I'm sure I'll have more to talk about at a later date because there's always new things happening with it. But I guess with that, we should get into a little bit of news.
Yeah.
We got quite a bit of news today. I looked at our list and I'm like, I'm gonna add some stuff, and I looked. I'm like, oh, you got most of it plus more. So we're gonna start off with just a couple of the random ones, and we're gonna get into the Smash Brothers stuff. I think there's a couple of viewers that might be in for some Smash. I posted this out to the Smash Melee, the Melee social group. So we'll see if some people join in. Gives them more time to join in. We're gonna get to a little bit more news. The big one, I think we'll get right onto that. The big one, obviously this week, is Minecraft. Mojang, more specifically, the guys that made Minecraft, has been bought out by Microsoft for a whopping $2.5 billion. And that's absolutely incredible. And not only did they get bought out, Notch himself has left the company. He's going on to do his own things. He's like, I didn't expect the spotlight to be on me for this long and for this game to get this big. And he just wants to go back to doing things he wants to do. So he's going to join another company. I forget what company it was. But he's going to join up with that company and just do, I think, just software development is what I think I saw. So just regular old software development, but that's something he wants to do. So good on him. He's got the money to do whatever he wants at this point, I think, with 2.5 bill in part of that going into his pocket, I'm sure. But yeah, now the initial thing, I think some people had concerns was that, Minecraft and anything in the future, it's going to go to Xbox exclusivity. But I think there was a statement from Microsoft saying that we do not want to take this service away because the community is spread across many devices. They want the experience to be available to everybody on all the devices it's already on. I could maybe see them pulling out, exclusive content for the Xbox for like a month, and then you can get it elsewhere. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what they do with it. Has there any been other cases of Microsoft buying things and then nothing good coming out of it? I can't think of it.
If Microsoft buys something, it goes sour. I don't really have any examples off the top of my head, though. But
no, that's
I don't see them buying Minecraft and just fucking it over.
Just kiboshing it.
That would be a poor game plan. Spending $2.5 billion and screwing it up.
Yeah, because that's the thing is you don't. I'm sure what they saw was a new way to monetize it and get more money out of it. aka in-app purchases, but and they're like, hey, we're gonna spend this money, we'll make it back with this new monetization process. Because here's my question is, it's so late in the game to acquire Minecraft. It's like, who doesn't already own the game?
Here's an interesting take on this, like on a business side of this purchase that I was reading about, and I've been thinking about it a lot since I did, was that think about it less like Microsoft purchasing a development studio and think about it more along the lines of Microsoft purchasing a social network, because a lot of the value around Minecraft comes from the community surrounding it. And so it's really about active users and less so about, obviously, like future talent, because the founders are gone, right? So a lot of tech acquisitions are more about talent than anything else, whereas this case, it's really about the users behind this. So I thought that was an interesting way of thinking about it.
Because now, they could come out and easily, at the startup, even of the game starting up, you got active users seeing any advertising. You got a new game coming out. You got a new Halo Master Chief Edition coming out. Put that right at the beginning of the startup of Minecraft.
Loading
That makes
screen,
sense.
yeah, absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense that for them that's a powerful tool to have. Because do we have a number on the active users?
I haven't read one.
Minecraft?
Get on the Google machine.
Because I know it's up there, and I know it's a lot of younger people specifically. It's I know a lot of schools that actually use Minecraft as a learning tool in their schooling.
That was actually another point in the same, I think it was actually Business Insider, like non-gaming related website where I read this about, and that was their kind of end point, was that a lot of people aren't taking into account how Minecraft has branched into the education market, and that's a huge door opener for anything Microsoft might want to do. And beyond that, they also talked about how Minecraft can be like preloaded on computers potentially. Like you pop open, boot up your Windows 8 device, and Minecraft's right there. Like there's some good synergies with everything else they have going on.
Yeah, you know what? When we talk about it, I can see how smart of a decision this was for Microsoft to make this purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And at 2.5 billion, I think that's a fair price.
Yeah. To answer your previous question, though, I just found an article saying it's from February, so it's a little dated, but it says that they have over 100 million registered users.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
It's not monthly active users, which is the normal kind of way of measuring a social network, but that's a huge number.
Well, see, that's what I was more at the beginning asking, is like, who doesn't have the game? As we just said, 100 million people.
To be fair, I don't.
That's true, I guess. Obviously, 100 million doesn't cover the entire population of the Earth, but it's still a heck of a lot of people. That's a third of the United States population, right? So that's
like absolutely 3 times of Canada.
I know, like it's huge. So that's pretend every single person in Canada every person you meet on the street plays Minecraft, and that's not even everybody. Like that's how many people have at least played Minecraft once. But active users, I'd be interested to see if maybe you could pull that up at any point there.
I'll keep looking.
And give us cool. But I think again, this is why I like having these discussions, is that the more we talk about it, the more I kind of understand sometimes what's actually going on. But I think that's a brilliant purchase, and that price is fair. I think that's not over the top or anything, not undersold. I think that's a fair purchase. Man, $2.5 billion. That's a lot of money.
It is. That's a buttload of money. How much did Twitch go for again?
1 or 2 billion, wasn't it?
Or wasn't it 970 million, just shy of 1 billion? I'm pretty sure Google offered them 1 billion. I might be.
I'm pretty sure it was less than $1 billion.
Yeah.
Amazon bought it for 970 million, so just short.
Right. So yeah.
I remember this, because we were stuck between 960 and 970.
Yeah. But okay, I just found a new stat on Minecraft. In the last 24 hours, over 8,000 people bought the game.
In the last how many hours?
24.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
What's the asking price for Minecraft nowadays? I know when I got it was $14. I think it's upwards of like 19 or something now.
Maybe. I think it depends on the edition, I think.
So how many people? 8,000?
Over 8,000 in the last hour bought it. But get this, that's just PC and Mac.
So that's $152,000 just in 24 hours.
They've sold over 6 million copies of the game on PC and Mac.
That's absolutely ridiculous. But that was my kind of question. Is like, who's still buying it at this point?
Apparently, a lot of people.
As we said, 100 million people isn't the whole world, so there's still a lot of people left that could buy it.
Yeah.
It's just when I think that, I'm like, oh, no one else is going to buy it now, especially at this point. But I guess you just proved me wrong. That's unreal that so they might just make the money back in sales alone.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll let you know if I do actually find active users type of thing. This one thing I'm seeing says 100,000, but that seems not legit to me.
100,000.
Oh, that's actually just the Minecraft app on Facebook, apparently.
For what?
The Facebook Minecraft app has 100,000 monthly active users. So I guess you can play it on Facebook? I didn't know that.
I had no idea you could do that. Well, I guess it is just Java, is it not? Yeah, it's just Java. You could run that.
Yeah, you can run it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah,
Probably
exactly.
just as complex as Farmville, for all I know. That's so crazy.
That's a ridiculous amount of money, and I really wish I had that kind of money. Hey, Notch, if you're listening, are you really gonna miss like $0.5 billion? Just throw it over.
Just give it over here. Please.
I'll link you my PayPal at the bottom there. And just kind of, that's not that hard. Not that hard. 205. But yeah, anyways, that's Minecraft being bought out by Microsoft.
I want to raise one last interesting point about this before we move on, because it is such big news. I was reading a lot about it today, even though I don't play myself.
Okay.
So it was this article that was analyzing the impact that Minecraft has had on the industry. So.
Oh, huge. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I posed you this question. Please, tell me what you think it has had, because then I'll let you know what this article basically said.
Well, first and foremost, as soon as everyone realized that this, I think Minecraft was the first, if not the first, to do pre-game release purchasing. Like you buy the alpha, and then you get the updates as it comes along, and then as the game develops, it's you get everything as it comes, and then so many more developers start doing that. You look at something like Rust or DayZ, they all have the same model, whereas people, can be dangerous because you could buy the game and then the developer's like, I got my money, I'm just not going to do anything more. Can be dangerous, but it's smart for the developer because now they got this money, they got this definite investment where they can continue to produce things for the game. So in that sense, it's healthy. You're contributing to the development of the game directly in that sense that you're giving them their funding. You're investing in that company. Yeah, a lot of companies started picking that up after, I think, a year or so after they realized that Minecraft was huge. They're like, oh, frick, we should do this too. And that's the biggest impact, besides a game having such good educational value to it as well too. That's obviously been a big impact as well too. But I can see that in the industry, that's the biggest one I see.
And that's actually pretty fair. I just shared in the chat the article I was referencing, and if you want to showcase that, everyone else can have it.
That to our showcase. If you're watching, you can actually click the links. There's a little button at the top. I had the opportunity to find out how it actually works last week when I just spectated this. At the top of the screen, if you're viewing this in Google Hangouts, you'll be able to see a little button that has you can switch between showcase and the Q&A. So you can ask us questions or look at the showcase. So click that. You can see all the links we're posting right there. Open them up and read along with us. Oh, Sarah.
Yeah, so good plug for Google's Showcase app. The article talks about 4 main points that people often would think, I guess, that Minecraft has been influential over the industry. And the final one is this idea of paid beta alpha testing. And that's the one that would probably have the strongest argument. Moral of the story is this article is called Ways Minecraft Hasn't Changed Gaming. But they do concede a little bit that there's some early access type things, leaching into Steam, like you mentioned. So that's probably the strongest argument in how it's had an impact. But beyond that, this article says, you know what, guys, it's like the diamond in the rough. It's like the exception to the rule. It's you can't. No one has copied it because it wouldn't work for anyone else. It was just, it worked, one time. It's not a winning formula, basically, I guess, is the moral of this article's story. So I thought that was really interesting because, I mean, I haven't played, but if I was to think about Minecraft as a game, I would initially say, like, oh, yeah, of course it's had an impact. It's like a huge phenomenon. And then I read this, and I was like, oh, wow, that's really interesting take on this.
Yeah, I don't like want to discredit their statement completely, but I would say that it's not necessarily that it's a bad formula. I wouldn't say that that is the formula for that, approach to it. I would say that the reason it worked is because the game was good. And you look at other games, look at DayZ, they're making money off of it doing the exact same formula. It's not like it just didn't work for DayZ either. It's because the game is good. You have to have something to back it up. It's kind of this. Here, it's part of the formula, and here's the other part. If you don't got that, it doesn't equate to anything. Right? So it's. I think. I think saying that it's never going to work again, or it's not a winning formula isn't correct. It's just you need to have both parts of the formula. You need to have a good game that people are going to want to play and will want to purchase into. But I think giving them the opportunity to do it, people want to do that. People like to spend their money, believe it or not, on on things like that. So
yeah,
I think it's still a valid approach to things.
Well, here, let me just, to pique your curiosity, just kind of summarize the points that they made, and I'd be curious, like the readers or listeners should know, in case they're too lazy, like TLGR, they said, first and foremost, user-generated content is not that big of a thing. I mean, sure, there's lots of PC mods, but it's not really in the mainstream, which is an interesting thing we'll talk about later. So that was one of their points. They also said that Minecraft's called a sandbox type of game, but any wildly successful other sandbox game also has other genre elements like FPS, or like Grand Theft Auto has like some racing elements and other things like that incorporated into a sandbox type environment. So it says that like there's really nothing that's purely sandbox, I guess is what they're trying to say, that competes really. So their premise in that sense is that if people aren't copying it, it's not influential, I guess. And then their second point is that they released this game not through any distribution channel. So that business approach of not going through, Steam or Xbox Live or whatever, just buying it through their site is not something that is in the interest of developers, because obviously going through a distribution channel like that gets you in front of more people.
I would say that was something that worked. They got lucky on, I think, too. You're right. That's tough to do.
It's very hard to do that, absolutely. And it's weird. Like, I wish you could just make a game and post about it on your social media and get the word out and be famous and make $2.5 billion, but that's really not the case. And then their third point, a little weak in my sense, but the heading is "Pixel art was cool before Minecraft existed." So this goes to the art direction of the game, is that, this isn't really unique. It wasn't unique before, it's not unique after, so what do they say? Like, it increased the interest in pixel art, but it's not like it didn't exist.
No, but I don't think Notch was trying to make this. Hey, look, it's pixel art. Buy it. It's just pixel art fit what the game was, right? The game is blocks. That's what pixel art games are. They're blocks, right? You don't have smooth textures. You have blocks, and I think he was just making everything work together. It's like at that point, I agree. This is very weak because it's like going to Borderlands and being like, why are you using cell shading? Other people used that before.
Yeah, like what is?
I wasn't trying to make the game just the game's fun. It's not because of the cell shading, It's.
Can you think of a game that has a truly unique art style at this point in time? Like
It's going to be very, very hard to do.
Everything I think of, I'm like, no, that's not actually unique, So there's a weak point there. But I did think that the distribution channel thing was very interesting.
No, because that actually would have been a very. It also, like, maybe it's just because I wasn't super into I've been always into PC gaming, but I was never really on Steam at that point. Even though that was, oh frick, that's a good 7 years ago or so now, is when Minecraft came out, I think. And because I was I was just starting up college at that point, and I remember playing it all the time. But yeah, you had to go to their site. But I didn't have Steam at that point. I didn't use Steam, so I think it's just things like Steam have an origin in that is more of a recent thing. I think now if somebody tried to just post on their website and say, hey, word of mouth, get it out, not going to go too good for them. I think back then, though, people still went to websites. Who goes to websites anymore? I guess it's not really a thing. Everybody uses RSS feeds, right? Like,
do they really? Are RSS feeds still a thing?
Well, essentially, you go to Reddit. That's just like one big RSS feed.
But like no, but like a true RSS feed, like Google Reader shut down like years ago, and to me that was like the death of the RSS.
Not really. You look at things like Feedly. Tons of people still use Feedly.
Really?
That's a big one. Yeah,
I had to use Feedly when Google Reader dropped.
Yeah, and you look at Google News and Weather. Recently just updated. That's their RSS feed now.
I guess it's just evolved is the right way to say it, is that it was a really primitive way of getting your stuff, and now there's more sophisticated ways.
But the idea is, I use Appy Gamer on my phone. It notifies me, it goes into my notification drawer, says when there's a new breaking news. You know, I got one about the 2.5 billion acquisition of Minecraft and Microsoft, and I didn't go to a website to read that, though. It popped up, and I read it in the app. I could open it in their website, which was just linking to the other website, but I had it on my phone. I feel like people don't go to websites as much anymore. They'll have a feed or something telling them, and then it'll link to the site. And that,
if you're watching, chime in. I want to know. What do you do to get your...
how often, where do you go to get your news for things? Do you actually go to every morning, do you type in polygon.com and
I do.
Go see what they do? See, I use another actually website. I do go to a website, but it's technically an RSS feed. I go to n4g.com, which is news for gamers, and it's just people posting things from other websites. It's like Reddit for gamers, essentially, with terrible comment section. The point is, I don't, and I feel like that's the same. Someone today we're having a discussion about at work. How do we reach the students? How do we get more information to them? And it's like, well, our website's not updated. Someone else chimed in. People don't go to websites anymore, right? So it's what? But BRB. All right. Sarah will be back in a moment. But yeah, I just think people don't use websites. Charles, what do you do? Where do you get your information from?
I get my information from Feedly or Reddit.
Two essential. One is literally an RSS feed.
It's a news aggregator.
Exactly, and I think as much as we don't realize, sure, we're going to reddit.com. That's a website, but in the end, we're not going to multiple different things. We're trying to have something to just aggregate everything into one spot. You know, it's all the information's congregated into a nice little format. So I think websites are obviously still useful. You need to put the information somewhere. It's not like people are going there anymore. And I think it's shifted. That shift has only happened, though, I think, in the past couple of years, with the explosion of Reddit in the mainstream, with RSS feeds becoming more of a thing. And so I think Minecraft had that ability before, that people did go to websites. So, you know, saying to your friend, hey, I got this cool game, go to minecraft.com, it wasn't a thing. They just like, okay, I'll go to minecraft.com and still get it. So I think they still had that on their side a bit. But yeah, nowadays, if a game developer tried to just put it on their website and be like, social media will take care of it, everyone will talk about it, that's not going to go too well for them. You need a distribution center, like something like Steam or Origin or Uplay or something like that, right? So it's yeah, right, Sarah. That was definitely a good point on there. It's good observation. But yeah, so that's a Minecraft acquisition by Microsoft. Now we're gonna get into. We'll save the other news to the end of this. Well, let's get into some Smash talk. I want to talk about Smash Brothers a bit here. We got some Smash Brothers news. And if you don't know, the demo's out here in North America. The game's released on the 3DS in Japan. So lot of information on that. All the information's out essentially. So we got some news points here. I guess there's a rumor. I didn't read this one. Someone else put this into our notes here, but
those are all me.
I guess okay, perfect. I guess I should tell by your format. You're nice and neat. Everything's held together. Mine's just a bunch of text. So rumor that Smash 4 is releasing November 21st on the Wii U. Now, question for you. I didn't read the article. Is that just Japan or is that everywhere? Because we heard December.
So this article is based on the U.S. Because some retailer was taking pre-orders and printed on their marketing collateral that was the pending release date.
Pending. Now, here's the thing. Is we also had a pending release date for the summer for the Smash Brothers, right? And that obviously changed.
Obviously.
And I think we actually did see. So I'm just a devil's advocate. I'm gonna try to take away as much as possible from this. Is that I think I'm not just because I don't want to get my hopes up. We did see another retailer post a date that is supposed to be released a while ago, and obviously they were wrong. So I think what they were doing is they're just trying to get people to buy it from them.
Probably. The official website still says holiday, very vague. But I
guess technically November is holiday. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, and no, the interesting point about this is that, I mean, not for us because we're up here in the Great White North, but that coincides with Black Friday. And apparently Nintendo's been known for releasing high-profile titles around that time. So it's a cool rumor. I want to get my hopes up.
There could be some credit to it then, because it does line up with things that make sense. Giving us the date like, April 5th, what the hell is that lining up? That's easier to discredit, but this does make a little more sense. Again, I'm not going to get hopes up too high, but because that's only about 2 months away.
Yep.
We're getting close. And again, did it make any mention of Japan or obviously North America then if they're going for the Black Friday thing?
No, nothing about, like, this is off Polygon, so it's North American based, but nothing about Japan.
Yeah. And remember, guys, if you have any questions, things you want to chime in with, join in on Google Plus in the live Q&A, and you can give your input on things that we're talking about, and we'll read your questions at the side there when we see them, and you can join in on a discussion here. So, yeah, so that'd be cool. I'm okay with November 21st release date. It's soon enough. We'll have the 3DS within 3 weeks now, I think.
Not soon enough.
Sorry?
Not soon enough.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing the demo, and I'm sure Zach's let you try it.
I had one match.
All right, I just want to quickly get your opinions. Obviously, I know I'm very on the internet a lot, and I've read other people's opinions, heard other people's opinions. I want to know your opinion.
Well, okay, preface this with the fact that I literally played one, whatever it is, 2-minute match, and that the character selection in the demo is limited to 5 characters. But honestly, it messed me right up.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay, so you have to use, I'm going to get this confused, either the circle pad or the D-pad. One or the other does not work.
D-pad is taunts.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Because I was trying to use the D-pad, and Pikachu was like, ee, and I'm like, attack Pikachu, let's go. So that was really frustrating to me, is that, I want to use the D-pad, and that wasn't doing anything. So that's just a learning curve thing. I only played one game. But just because we play so much GameCube Smash, like Melee, I found it really hard to get used to, moving my thumb to the right place to jump, and it's just basic shit. I sucked at it. So that was a little bit disappointing, I guess, but that's just learning curve, like I said. So That was the main thing that stuck with me. Otherwise, I love how the characters are outlined in the 3DS art style, and obviously they were really smart about doing that, putting it on a TV versus putting it on a small handheld, and they're like, yo, we need to outline these characters so it's easier to see what's going on. And so I've liked that since the day I first saw any of the art style, but I did really enjoy that. I did get my final Smash. I was a little sad that Pikachu's was the same as Brawl because I don't like it. But I did watch a video today about comparisons of Final Smashes that are different from Brawl to this one, Smash 4, and I was really excited that Luigi's changed to a Polterguster Final Smash because I love Luigi's Mansion, and so it was really cool to see them incorporate that.
True.
I think that's the main points. I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, I obviously, as you said, there's going to be a learning curve with any game you pick up, especially new iteration, new console. Never had Smash on a portable before, so there's actually been reports. A lot of people chiming in. I actually have seen the video of people breaking their thumbsticks off the circle pad on their 3DSs because they're not even apparently doing anything real crazy. It's just the back and forth that's kind of wearing it down so much. A lot of the games. Yeah, a lot of games out now don't require as much movement on it. So it's
at least not rapid movement like you would have in Smash.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing: is I saw some guy do dash dancing. It's the same dash dancing you can do in Brawl. It's very short and almost useless because it's just too quick. You can't really control it with the circle pad, which I could barely move that thing back and forth as is, let alone dash dance with it. Like that's really that's how you break your circle pad. But a lot of reports of circle pads being broken. So hopefully they can come out with a stronger circle pad on this new the new 3DS that's coming out too. But I don't really want to break mine. I'm going to be using the 3DS game as practice until I get the Wii U version. Essentially, that's essentially what's going to go. And as soon as I pick up the Wii U version, I'm not going to be touching the 3DS as much, to be honest. So it's just kind of that was smart on their part to not release it all at once. So like people will buy it on this system, and then they will buy it on the real system.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, I just haven't found this out myself, but I'm wondering if we know how much that GameCube controller adapter is going to set us back.
I thought I saw it, maybe misquoting, at around $30.
That's not so bad. We'll buy.
Yeah, that's what I think. I thought I saw. I think I thought I saw. I think I thought I saw. Okay. I think that's about where it was.
No, I don't know a lot about it. Is it just for one controller, like you need one for each controller, or it works for like 4 ports?
Each one, I think, has 4 ports.
Oh, okay, that's even better. Okay, good.
Let's see. We're gonna look up the Wii U GameCube adapter, and I'll quickly look at an image of it. Yes, it has 4 ports into it. Right on the front, and then it plugs into the USB. It's got it actually takes up 2 USB slots.
Well, who really puts a USB in their Wii U though? Like, let's be real.
Well, that's the truth. That's the truth right there, right? So it takes up 2 USB slots to come from it. I don't know. I'm sure one's just probably for power. So apparently, Nintendo GameCube controller adapter for Super Smash Bros. Wii U will grant the user or the use of classic GameCube or Wavebird controllers with the fighter has been priced at $19.99. Nintendo will also launch a Nintendo GameCube controller with Super Smash Bros. With markings for $29.99. So you're going to be able to get
new controllers?
They will be making GameCube controllers again, apparently.
I thought that was confirmed a while back.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I'm pretty sure that makes sense because It actually was Google Now that pulled it up, which means they have it in their database. So apparently there'll be some sweet GameCube controllers again too that you can get. I'll have to be picking up one of those for sure.
Definitely.
Yep.
Nintendo's making so much money off of us.
With 2 games, an adapter, and another controller, let's average that. What's the average amount of money they're going to be making off a user then?
So about 40 for the 3DS, right?
So we got 40. Yeah, I'll math it out here. So we got 40
then
times.
a Wii U game, like 60? So we're at 100-ish. Plus the 20 for the adapter. Plus, what did you say the controller was? Like 25, 30?
Adapter is 20, well plus tax, but 20.
Yeah, so we're looking at over 150 after tax.
And consider this: a lot of people are going to be buying Wii U's.
I was just going to say that. A lot of people don't even have the system at all.
Yeah. So Wii U is going to be pushed as well too. But yeah, you're looking at probably around $300 out of each person. You look at, say, maximum, these people spend this, like, this is what they're going to be buying everything. Well, 300 times, what would you say? I'd say you're probably going to get at least $500,000 to $1 million sales out of this, I think. That's a good amount of money in your pocket, right? So, just off one game.
They can put more into making me a great Zelda game for the Wii U with all that.
It's about damn time.
And Charles pipes up.
Something Charles could relate to.
Smash. I'm just gonna glaze right over.
All right, well, we're gonna glaze you over a little bit longer. We got a couple more bits on that. So with the 3DS, apparently it could be used as a controller, which I don't know why anyone would do, because I think the 3DS, for the Wii U version, I think the 3DS is a terrible controller for Smash Brothers.
I'm gonna chime in and say it's about damn time they make the 3DS integrate with the Wii U in some way, shape, or form. But this is a terrible decision. They've made a terrible mistake.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Did it with the wrong freaking game.
Exactly. Like it's a great idea. Yeah, integrate the two things. Finally, I'll be able to use the two things in concert, or I can bring my 3DS over to a friend's house and we can play a game on the Wii U using our 3DSs. Maybe like the save file could be something particular. You could have your independent character. It'd be great. You can carry it in your pocket. But not for Smash.
No.
Now, do we know if you need to have the game to be able to play, or is it just that it's used as a controller, so you'll be looking at the screen, like the big screen?
So this piece of news came through the Japanese screenshots, I guess. So it's hard to say, because here's the thing: we don't have the Wii U version. But it's not that surprising. Like, you can change your those amiibo things that they're gonna have. You're gonna be able to transfer those in between the two systems and things. It's still really vague because we don't, like I said, we don't have the Wii U version yet.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I honestly, I mean, cool. Yeah, you can just go to your friends. I'm hoping my friends would have some Wiimotes at least, or I'm just bringing my own GameCube controller. Right in the end, but yeah, it's cool that you have that option there. I'm just not gonna do it.
No.
Yeah, I actually playing the Smash demo, man. I'm getting cramped fingers. I have long ass fingers. I'm getting cramps playing that game on that system.
Yeah, so, the 3DS is not meant for button mashing.
No, I don't. As I said, people are breaking their circle pads. It's just not comfortable for something like that either. It's designed around using the touchscreen, right? And this is a non-touchscreen game. So there's that. And now didn't read this. It's weird that it's on Event Hubs. but you can play 120 matches to unlock all Smash 4 characters. If you want to maybe explain that out a little longer.
Yeah, so I was just curious. I was looking for the full like unlockable character list, and I stumbled across this. It says that every 10 matches that you play, you unlock a new character. And so with 12 unlockable characters, you hit that at 120 matches. And so they're not sure if if online matches count at this point. It's again very new. People are figuring this out as they go, but you compare that to it took 450 matches to unlock everyone in Brawl and 1,000 to unlock everyone in Melee. That's pretty light.
Yeah, very
And
light.
interesting fun fact, especially for Brody and I, is that the last unlockable character is Jigglypuff.
Okay. I thought you were going to have some spoilers.
Oh no. No, I just thought it was cool that, like, out of the 120 matches you have to do, Jigglypuff's the last one that you get.
Good. Jigs better be OP. Yeah, no, it's weird because I remember in the Melee, like, there's something you have to do, like, play 25 matches with this character and, like, win them to unlock it. It was, like, specific goals you had to do. So this one you just have to play matches and they unlock it.
Just be dedicated to playing it and it's good to go. Which, you know what? I'm not that against that approach for a 3DS. Because that's a casual system. It's kind of a casual approach to getting all of your unlockables. I'm okay with that.
Maybe for 3DS, yeah, but for Wii, I want something more. I want something to challenge me. Like, if I want to play with this character, I have to get good at this character.
Well, and I'm hoping what they do is, like, with the stages, it's much more in depth because, like with Melee, you have to do all those events to unlock all of the stages, and that can be quite challenging because you do get forced into playing certain characters in those events. So I'm hoping that that's kind of where this is headed, and, we've talked at length about the future of DLC and adding new characters as well. So, this is just a baseline. I think it's going to get more intense.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just like the fact that it gives you the ability to try out new things, new characters, and then if you're forced to do certain challenges with them. But I do agree that on a casual level, like with the 3DS, it makes sense. Just, hey, you play enough time, here's a new character to keep you interested, right?
Yeah.
All right, up next, I read someone posted about this, but I didn't actually read too much into it. But Nintendo and the Future Shop, created a Super Smash Brothers Club in Canada. Now, Sarah, if you want to go over that too and tell us what that exactly entails.
So what they're doing is they're holding some events. What they're looking for is feedback from the community, especially around the area of rule sets for the new game. So again, this is another huge nod to the competitive community. They want to get your feedback on how tournaments should be run, and they're saying, yo, tell us, like, you guys know this. Here's our new game, but, like, should Apex rules apply? Or do you want to tweak them, kind of thing. So the big part of this is defining the rule set and being a part of that all. And beyond that, they're just, they're doing events where you can play the game and trying to get general hype and marketing.
Okay, see that's what I wasn't sure if it's a club where you go on forums and talk to them, or if it's like you go out to specific events and talk to them, or it's kind of both.
Yeah, share in the showcase the link there because it does have that article has links out to all of the events. Toronto downtown, obviously, then Mississauga, Vancouver, Montreal. The big places you would expect in Canada. So we're not getting one here, Three Warrens, but
We'll
yeah,
make our own.
Share it on out.
All right, sharing that now. Yeah, as I said, we'll just make our own Smash Club here. We don't need Nintendo. We've got the power.
We know what we're doing at this point.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, that's a lot of cool stuff for Smash. And when you think about it, it's like, well, this is kind of huge for Smash. Like the fact that these future shops jumping on, like it's almost surreal at how big it's becoming now at this point. Like it's just like, holy crap! Like yeah, it's Smash Brothers. Everyone knows Smash Brothers, but now it's making waves with Future Shop. Nintendo's getting in line with them. All these other tournaments are picking up Melee now as tournaments, and obviously Smash 4 is going to be involved. But it's again, as I said, almost surreal to just how big it's getting. You're like, wow, we're now a part of this thing that's growing huge.
It's honestly the first title, because Mario Kart 8 didn't sell as many Wii U's as they wanted, so it's the first title that gets people legitimately excited about owning a Wii U.
Yeah, and it's
Charles, what are you doing there, bud?
Charles doing his taxes over there.
Character sheets. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's interesting because you look at something like Call of Duty, which was like, and Halo esports was huge years ago. It was on TV, like it was huge.
Yep.
And now it's kind of it's still big, but like it's not something you see in mainstream anymore. And it's now, this is Smash time to come back and make this. Obviously, Melee was in MLG before, back in 2006, and then it was dropped, and now it's back again. But it's you see Melee doing this big, huge, bump, and it's kind of cool to see this game just come back from where it was, back into its glory days. I guess they're calling it the Platinum Age, and it's cool to see and be a part of, especially us running the tournaments and that. Just to be a part of something that's just going big again and on that level.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Brody, is that you got to give yourself credit, because people like you who are running these events are what is bringing it back.
Yeah, and again, well, not even just myself credit. It's any TOs out there. The fact that this community is so ready to push their esport forward is incredible, especially with the Smash community. It's unreal how willing these guys are to keep pushing it forward, and they're so supportive of anything any TO does. You look at the first tournament we did, it was honestly terrible. Like, it was like I didn't follow any rules, anything. I didn't know what I was doing. Thankfully, I had people there to help out when I needed it, but people still came back. These people want to push their sport, their esport forward, and it's so cool to see. You look at any other things, NHL, if we had done terrible and people were like, oh, that was stupid last time I went, I'm just gonna stay at home and play online. And it's insane how this community is growing so much to the point where, again, as I said, Future Shop is jumping on to help make this a thing too. So it's cool to see. It's basically what I'm getting at. It's just cool how big this is getting to the level of Halo esports, Call of Duty esports. It's at that level now. I think maybe a little ways away to go before it hits Dota level or League of Legends level, right? But it's honestly I think it could be. The reason that Dota and League are so big is because they have their founding companies, their developers behind that scene. It's Epic. No, sorry. Who makes League?
Riot.
Riot, yeah, that's the word.
Another word.
Yeah, Riot's pushing for League. You look at Valve is pushing Dota. They make these things, and now that Nintendo's getting involved with Smash, I think they have the potential to do the exact same thing as these other companies, to make these huge, potentially million-dollar tournaments, multi-million-dollar tournaments in the case of Blast International, right? And I think they have the potential, and so thankful that they're listening, because if they weren't, they're just screwing themselves over, I think, in the end, right? I think Smash is Nintendo's big saving grace at this point to pull them back to the community and the competitive scene, So it's awesome to see that happening. It's cool to be on the rise with it and being a part of communities that are supporting something like that. Because always watched Halo esports on TV, and I'm like, man, I wish I was Chris Puckett. I wish I was commentating all this right now. I wish I was Walshy. I wish I was supported by Red Bull and got all this cool stuff, playing video games, and now I'm part of this community going up. It's something cool to be a part of, and it's just, as I said, surreal to see it growing. I love esports, guys.
I have to say, like, a random side little tidbit is that I didn't really know much about esports, because you were talking about, like, watching Halo on TV. I didn't really know a lot about it until someone showed me a reality TV show called WCG Gamer, or Ultimate Gamer.
Yeah, there's a few reality TV shows, to be honest.
And it was so cool. It was almost like, this is really lame, but it was like Big Brother with video games. They all lived in the same house, and they would have a challenge. It would be different games every week, and I was so stoked to see that. I was like, yo, like, I wish I could do that. And it's that whole thing is that when you see it, you just get so excited and you want to be a part of it. And Twitch is a big part of that, but it's not mainstream, and by no means was this reality show mainstream. It was on like Sci-Fi Channel or something. Yeah. But like it's cool to see where this is going, because some kids might grow up to aspire to that.
And that's exactly, that kid was exactly me. That was that's it. But there's other ones. The Tester was Sony's reality. It was like, again, Big Brother. They lived in the same house. The Tester is what it was called, and the winner actually got a job at Sony. Each season they did it. They got a job with Sony as a tester. They started as a tester. Obviously, a lot of testers will move up from there, but it was their foot in the door with Sony to get a job at their studios. So that was a cool thing. I think Sony did a good opportunity. There's another one called The Controller, and I think it was a Battlefield thing, or no, maybe it was everything. Maybe this one I watched was last one I watched was Battlefield, but the Controller, if you check that out, it's called The Controller, and it was another reality TV show for gamers and professional gamers. But it's cool to see that kind of stuff on TV. But yeah, watching ESPN top 10s and it's Halo, that's freaking tight. Like, I loved it. Like, it was super cool. Like, being able to. Like, I as a kid, I was only allowed an hour of gaming, an hour of computer, and an hour of TV. So it was cool to be able to play Minecraft, play my PlayStation, and then watch stuff about video games on TV. So that it was cool. And again, I think the International was streamed on TV. I heard there was a lot of bad feedback from people that actually watched ESPN. But they're like, what's this crap doing on our TV? And I get it for people who have no idea what it is. They're like, what the frick is going on? It's a steep learning curve for those games, right? But I think if they pulled a dedicated side channel for it, you could get viewers for sure. Or just go stick to the streaming thing. That's what gamers like to do. But the fact that it's on TV and it's making these big waves in the world is super freaking awesome, and it's cool to be a part of it. I love it. I love video games. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more cool stuff coming out for that in the future. Now, we have a couple more news pieces to go through, and then I think that'd be good for today, because we got a bit more to cover still. We got, I guess we're going to highlight here. I got notes now. The EA CEO lays out a new 3-year plan. Now, Sarah, you want to run me over that one? Because I have no idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I just read this myself today. I was interested because we always love to, like everyone else, rag on EA. But he had, I guess, like a 3-point plan to his talk. The 3 points were, first, reestablish a player-first culture in the company. The second was focusing on digital. And the third was reorganizing their company structure to be less siloed and more integrated to support the first prong of this new approach of being player-centric. So I wanted to bring this up because, a message from a CEO, especially with a company that has the reputation of EA, can be seen as, just lip service, but I mean, it really comes down to whether or not they follow through. So I'm very interested to see how this develops, which is why I wanted to bring it up. Just, do you think EA can follow through on this idea of putting players first and, presumably releasing things in completion and not messing it up entirely so that people can't play the game that they spent money to play? I'm curious to see what you guys think.
Well, initially, I guess I'll jump in first. Initially, my reaction is it's heartwarming. It's like, oh, this is a person now. This is a person seeing things that are going on and realizing they need to change some things. Now, on the other side, as you said, is this just lip service where they're just saying, we're going to do this, and they wanted the exact reaction they just got from me. It's like, hey, that's a real person making good decisions. Will they follow through with it? And I think that's honestly key for them to follow through with it if they want to, in the long run, continue as a company that makes games for hardcore gamers. Because if they continue to just alienate themselves from us, it's not going to go good for them. There are a lot of people that still stick to their EA boycott. I'm one of them. You look at Story, he's one of them. It's just we don't buy EA games because we don't like what EA is doing. Now, if they were to change what they're doing, that's going to change. That's 2 more people, and I'm sure we're not the only people in the world that are going to buy their games now. And honestly, I think it's essential if they want to keep on, because they make games, they make AAA titles. Yeah, they make games that are going to appeal to a wider audience. But you got to realize the games they're making, Battlefield, Dead Space, whatever it be, are games that essentially, at the core, are for the hardcore gamers, right? I don't know any casual gamers playing Battlefield at all. Not a single casual gamer I know plays Battlefield. It's just from the ground up built not as a casual game. And I think they're realizing that is our audience, the hardcore. And if we're alienating ourselves, we need to fix it. So hopefully that's actually what they're realizing, and hopefully that's going to pull through. Now, sorry, you said there's a 3-year plan, right?
Yeah.
So what does it entail? Like, does it describe what exactly their first steps are to get back to, gamer centralized focus? Like, what's
not in what I've read. It's not like I've read his entire conference speak at this point, so I can't completely say timeline-wise. It was just this. What I read was a summary of his kind of 3 pillars to this plan, on the very philosophical level.
Okay. So because I'm just interested to see what exactly he has in mind to do that.
I
think first and foremost, maybe an apology for their behavior would be a good step. That would honestly open a lot of arms to them. But I think they have the chance to do it. It's just, as you said, will they follow through with it?
The 3rd pillar of reorganizing their company to be less siloed and to have just general more integration between their functional units is that is a directive pillar to this approach. And I do, from a business standpoint, think that helps tremendously with a customer-centric focus, because you need to make sure sales isn't isolated from development, and marketing as well. All of these people in the different departments do need to talk to each other to get a true sense of what's going on in the market. So that one does seem directive, but as for the other 2, jury's out.
Yeah, that's so. Charles, what do you think on this? What's your stance on EA as is, and what do you think of this? This want to come back to the hardcore kind of community thing. What's your thoughts?
They're on the right track, but I haven't seen anything concrete, so I don't know.
I think Yeah.
You can talk all day for days, and that doesn't mean anything until you actually do a thing.
No,
Like you can say that you will give all of your games away for free and donate all of your money to charity and end world hunger and stop all global conflict and end the energy crisis, the pending energy crisis, and stop global warming. But until you do any one of those things, you're just saying that you will.
yeah.
Charles,
No.
are you saying you will? Can you do that for us?
No, I was just saying that I could. I can't actually.
No, but you can make
This could boil down to what EA does. Is they say they'll do these things, but then it turns about that they can't, or they won't.
I must go on a mini EA rant. Sorry, Brody.
That's all right.
But you said you're boycotting them. I actually have recently been playing an EA game, so little mini rant. As you know, I am like supremely addicted to Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. To the point where I was like, Zach, you don't exist. Like, boyfriend, go away. You're interfering with my game. But they had problems with, surprise, their servers, and one of their like key game modes was not working for a good like 2 days. Because at this point when it was happening, I was playing every single night because I was addicted to it, and it took these 2 days for them to react and put up a message on the home screen like, oh, we're going into maintenance from 11 to 12 p.m. EST. And I was like, okay, well, at least they finally figured it the fuck out, because I'm sitting here like trying to join a game and it's just like error, could not connect. And this is the world's longest run-on sentence. But basically, it took them way too long to figure out the most important key mode of this game and why it exists. And so I was forced to play online, like Team Vanquish, which is like fucking team deathmatch with 12-year-olds, and I was pissed. I was trying to level up on the other mode. It was the worst.
And that's exactly where I come from, is the fact that I don't want to put myself through any of that anguish. And I don't want to, well, essentially on that point is I'm voting with my wallet. You know, if everybody says they're not going to do something and then they do it anyways, it's showing the EA that what they're doing is okay. For me, I'm not okay with it. Yeah, and exactly. And what I'm doing is I'm not giving in. I don't want to show them what they're doing is okay, because I strongly believe that what they're doing and how they're treating their games and their product is not okay. So that's why I'm not buying their games until they can do something to fix that. Because even if I'm the only person in the world, that's what I believe, and I'm going to keep to it. And I'm not going to tell other people not to buy their games. I can't say don't buy their games. If you really want to buy their games and you find what they're doing is okay and acceptable, that's fine. To me, I don't think it is, and I'm not going to to contribute to that.
Contribute.
Aesthetically contribute.
Aesthetically.
Yeah, I'm not going to contribute to that because I don't like what they're doing. Honestly, they make good games, like broken, but like the games they make are games I want. So it's not like it's easy for me to just be like, oh, I don't want to play. Lately, not really anything, but like they're having games where I'm like, okay, I kind of want that, but I'm not going to get it because I still don't like what they're doing. They haven't changed anything.
See, I'm like 50-50 with that, because I'm doing that with the new Sims. I'm not buying that yet. Even though I've had chances like through Origin and all that stuff, they've sent me crazy discounts and all that stuff. I'm like, no, not yet. But I got addicted to Plants vs Zombies way early, so when
it's still that's whatever $50-$60 still less out of your pocket because of what they've done, right? And I think it's up to us. It's up to the consumer to vote with your wallet what you want, what you don't want.
Absolutely. So stop buying Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty every year.
I like Call of Duty though. I honestly don't mind Activision as much. I think it's because they're the lesser of the evils. EA has become the big evil. And Activision used to be the one, but now they're kind of the lesser of the evil to me, to be honest.
They have a good press team.
They didn't royally bugger up Destiny, so I'm like it kind of gives them some credit. You look at that was an EA game. I'm not confident enough to say that would have been as smooth as it was. You know, so it's Activision hasn't been doing things bad enough to be press worthy.
For me, it helps that Blizzard is behind that because I do have trust in them.
Does Blizzard actually have anything to do with that, though? I think
Do they run it completely independently?
As far as I know, Activision Blizzard, are they not called Activision Blizzard, or did the two companies merge? Was it a merger or an acquisition?
I think acquisition, but that doesn't mean it's not fingers in the cookie jar.
I feel like Blizzard would have had a little more to do with their own things, and Activision as, you know, the publisher dealing with stuff like Destiny. I could be wrong. You know, maybe Blizzard higher ups did move up into a higher up spot at Activision technically. You know.
Oh no, Activision Blizzard became an independent company. My bad.
Okay.
They purchased back shares. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, again, my point still remains that EA is doing things to make tabloids for a reason. Is because they're doing silly things. Activision has found this kind of medium where it's like, all right, we can cut corners here, but we can't go past here.
It's just status quo bullshit. That's what it is.
The which?
Status quo. That's all they do.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. On the other side is they're not being talked about. You don't hear things about Activision anymore.
No, because that's what status quo is. It's the norm. Now we're used to recycled games and, let's be honest, recycled movies, and just everything is this perpetuation of the sameness. And it's like, yawn.
Yeah, well, see, that's why I obviously, yeah, Call of Duty is one that people always will go back to and say it's the same thing. But beyond that, are there any other games that you would say is the exact? Assassin's Creed, I would say, has enough stuff in it every year. I just wasn't interested in the last two.
Does it though? Like, I don't know. I got a bad taste in my mouth from the first one, so it's all what I've seen other people play, but it seems like same shit, different time period.
I think that here's actually a point I can make that I think it's different enough, is that I want to get the next one. I loved Assassin's Creed 2, Revelations, all those, Brotherhood, but I didn't like 3. I didn't like 3, and I didn't even have an interest in number 4.
Which one's Black Flag? Where's
Black
that?
Flag, yes.
4? Yeah.
That's 4, yeah. To me, they were different enough that I had no longer, my interest in a series was gone because they were different enough, right? And so I think those games are actually different enough. They add new features. They add, again, that whole time period. I didn't care about pirates, to be honest.
So then, as a consumer, would you want more of the same? Like, what are you looking for? What are you voting for with your dollar? Is it more like medieval Renaissance, and that's why pirateness didn't appeal to you? Or like, I'm curious because you keep buying Call of Duty, and it's like, oh, guns in a different environment, yay.
The reason I buy Call of Duty over and over again is because it's designed to be the same. That is the point of the game. It's a competitive game, and it's based. Look at what Street Fighter.
I was just gonna say Street Fighter is pretty much a good analogy. So. Yeah,
and Street Fighter is very much, obviously with tweaks, very much the same thing every iteration, and that's what Call of Duty is. Call of Duty is a competitive game, and Activision knows it is a competitive game. They know that it's going to be supported at MLG, and if they change it drastically, you look at Melee to Brawl, there's going to be no support for it. Right, and that's the reason I get it, is because that's the game I personally play on a higher level competitive. You know, that's my competitive game.
And that's fair. I, of course, downloaded Ultra Street Fighter 4 as DLC as soon as I could because it was the same thing. It was like, oh, yo, this is the latest thing. Gotta make sure that's what I'm playing. So, like, I get it. It's interesting to see where people draw the line in what is the same versus different. Because for me, it's like Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Street Fighter, I don't draw that line. So I just wanted to see where
I think the reason is you have to look at it at that standpoint. If it was, like say Flappy Bird came out, and then Flappy Bird 2 came out, and it was literally just a different texture pack, then yeah, you'd be like, what's the point? But I think what a lot of people don't look at Call of Duty as is a competitive game. They don't realize they're not catering to particularly you. They're catering to the competitive scene, and that is their target demographic, is the competitive scene, and that's where people will be like, oh, it's the same thing every year. That's the point. And I think that's where people be like, that's why they don't get it, is because their standpoint and their view on it, and they think they're the target demographic, but they're not, right? And again, I could play Ultra, I could play Super Street Fighter. To me, I wouldn't notice a difference because I don't play that competitively. But I wouldn't be like, don't buy Ultra because it's the same thing. I understand there's probably going to be tweaks, there's changes that people want. But to me, I'm not going to buy it because I wouldn't notice the difference enough.
And that's totally fair. I'm on the exact same flip side as you, is that it's like, yo, Modern Warfare 3 was like so nerfed compared to what I'm used to on Modern Warfare 2, but I'm not an FPS person, so maybe I shouldn't talk. But then again, I like to rip on them.
and that's been the status quo, is we got to rip on a game, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's why I get a little defensive when people say, "Oh, why'd you buy the new one?" Is because that's, I stand on that standpoint. I'm on that side of it. And like, to the point, I hated Call of Duty Ghosts. I bought it because it was the next iteration, and I thought it could be good. This was where the community was heading. I thought it was a garbage game. To most people, they'd pick it up and be like, "I don't notice the difference. It's Call of Duty." I think it's terrible. They changed too much to try to make it quicker, but they did the wrong things to make it quicker. The reason I'm excited for Advanced Warfare is because they're trying to make it quicker, but they're doing the right things to make it quicker. They're going from they're not tweaking already existing mechanics, they're making new mechanics. And that's why I'm excited for the new one, is because it's still going to play like Call of Duty. You're going to pick it up, be like, yeah, this is familiar. This feels the same, feels good. But it's going to play entirely different in the metagame, and that's where it comes down to, is the metagame is going to be entirely different. And when it comes now, if you're getting on the app, people will argue there's literally recycled items. That happens in tons of games. It's not just Call of Duty. It's just, once again, status quo. People like to rip on Call of Duty. So when they see, oh, this building is the exact same model that was used in the last game, right? But in the end, the game is different. Okay, bye, Sarah. Sarah's
What about Dota with Charles and the competitive nature of that shit?
All right, Charles. As
All
Sarah
right.
BRBs, tell us about esports and Dota and the coolness of Dota.
All right. Unfortunately, I didn't actually get to watch TI4 because I was working at the time. Sad.
Yeah.
But I heard that was a blast to actually watch.
It was quick.
Actually, the finals were a little bit lackluster because
It was one-sided.
it was really one-sided. Just one person, like one team, just won really quick in all of the games because the other team just made big mistakes.
Yeah.
But as far as online play for Dota 2, I haven't actually done a tournament yet, so I don't know exactly how mannered these people are.
I'll give you a question then that you can hopefully answer to give us a jumping point. Here is, what did you play Dota when it was a part of Warcraft 3?
Yes, I did play Dota when it was originally a part of Warcraft 3.
Okay, now from Dota to Dota 2, was there huge changes? Did the mechanics of the game stay the same? What was, like, was it a Call of Duty to Call of Duty kind of iteration thing, or was it a Smash Brothers Melee to Brawl kind of thing where it just completely changed how it played, or was it very similar in respects to its origin?
Oh, it's extremely similar with respect to its origin. Original Dota to Dota 2 it's basically just got a facelift. Some of the abilities got switched around, but it is otherwise the same game.
Yeah, and see, and as we've showed with 3 separate games, is that these games that are designed in a competitive nature aren't going to change much, because
No.
as soon as you change one mechanic, it changes the entire metagame. And,
Yep.
and could potentially destroy the competitive nature of it. You look at again, because I'm more familiar with it. You look at Brawl and Melee. The reason Brawl didn't go is because they took out. I'd say the 2 biggest things was gravity was changed. It was just slower, and something like dash dancing that just made you move slower, and it slowed the game down. Those 2 mechanics destroyed the entire game. So you look at, again, Dota, where they didn't really change anything. And I guess you could argue that, oh, look, Dota rehashes the same thing every iteration. I know there's only 2, but, they rehash the whole thing. It's the same game. Why are you buying it? And that's competitive.
Well, see, that's exactly the point. You don't buy Dota.
You with Dota.
You have to buy every iteration of Call of Duty or Battlefield, or take your pick. You have to buy every iteration if you want the next one.
And that is my ultimate grievance with it all.
Yeah, but the thing is, do you guys get new map packs? No, you play on one map. That's the thing. Is an FPS is mechanically, and I don't think anyone can argue this, different than a MOBA. They're not the same thing.
Oh yeah, no, it is mechanically different, but they should consider the way, like, say World of Warcraft. You know World of Warcraft, right? How they release expansion packs and how it's a game with 6 expansions and you can't play it unless you have all of them. They should do something like that instead, where each expansion iterates on the previous ones. And
which game was that?
Think World of Warcraft, for example.
Okay, yeah. But you're buying those.
You can totally play if you don't have the latest expansion. That's not true.
Yes, that's correct. And if you're getting it from Blizzard, you get a deal. So if you're getting it straight from Blizzard, you don't pay $60 for the base game and then $40 for all 6 expansions. They charge you less if you jump onto the bandwagon late.
Again, though, it's tough because the way they're built from the ground up are different. You look at that game, the way everything happens is going to be the same. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to keep doing it the way they're doing it. The way things happen are the same. You can change the stats of a character's movement and that. Whereas Call of Duty, that's the code. That code needs to change. Like you can't just, like, what I'm saying, the reason Ghost sucked is because the damage of weapons was too high, and its health was dropped way too fast, and there was no competitive nature, no back and forth battle. It was just, if I see you, you're dead, and that was the issue. That's coded into the game. Like, you could probably maybe patch it, but that's just a patch for that. It's maps change. The world of Azeroth stays the same. There's no new maps that come out, like expansions.
There totally is. Every expansion is a whole new world, and that's the thing, is that it's all about DLC versus a whole new game. And from my personal perspective, a lot of these Call of Duty releases that people are paying full new game prices for could be considered DLC. And that's where I do have to give Street Fighter props, because that's the one thing that I can relate to the most personally. And it's like, yo, I don't have to buy a brand new game to get Ultra. I can just upgrade as DLC my Super Street Fighter 4. So, like, I think that Call of Duty needs to, well, they don't need to do anything because people are still going to buy that shit, but that's why I don't buy into it, is it just doesn't seem financially responsible for me.
I will say the only thing I'll back down is the prices for the game, each iteration, each year, could be lower. But for me, once again, for me, again, this is my personal opinion, for me, the hours of gameplay I get out of that $60, $70 game is worthwhile. I'm putting like tens and tens and tens of hours into that game.
But Brody, your value equation is nerfed. Like, I'll give you that your Destiny value equation seemed like okay, but you're the guy who pre-ordered Destiny with a second PS4 and you already had one. Like, buddy, come on, how can we trust you? You pre-order everything.
It's not that I pre-ordered, it's just that I bought it.
You pre-ordered a game with a PS4.
No, that one you had to because the PS4s would have run out. If I wanted the PS4, I had to pre-order it.
Justification.
The only reason I pre-order Call of Duties is because I like collector's editions, and they only give you a call and notify you that the collector's edition is ready if you pre-ordered it.
Okay, what do you get out of a collector's edition? Talk to me about this. Let's talk collector's edition.
I like stuff, and I like to show off stuff. I like to display gaming stuff. It's like, do you have any posters on the wall?
Well, yeah.
That's why I buy collector's editions, because I like
That's
to show it off.
anime.
I have 0 posters on my wall, which is why I don't buy collector's editions.
Fair enough. That's
Hey, you don't have to get posters through collector's editions.
no,
like,
no, I don't. Not the posters. I'm not saying the posters.
Japan.
I'm not saying the posters. It's not about posters. I don't give a shit about posters. I'm saying.
Well, that's what you said.
No, I didn't. I said, do you have posters? It's the idea that you're displaying what you like. I'm displaying what I like. And I'm showing people that come into my place that I have posters. I like to create this atmosphere around me because I have to live in it. I want to create an atmosphere that I'm comfortable in. And I'm comfortable
my
in
point
the cool
is that
shit on the wall.
your value equation is nerfed because you're willing to pay a premium for these things, whereas you can order like this sweet Final Fantasy poster that you can't really see for like $7 from Japan.
I know, but here's the thing. I got a couple posters up. I don't like posters, though, because they change how the room looks. Like,
okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, you get a fucking Skyrim dragon, and that comes with your pre-order, and you have a fucking dragon in your house. Well, actually, technically...
Actually, no. You know what? There's no downside to having a dragon in your house. I'm sorry. I'm on this boat. I am all aboard this dragon purchasing. Where can I get me a dragon?
Our old roommate used to have a Skyrim dragon hanging out in our apartment, and I was like, why do you even have this? It's actually, though, a wyvern. It's not a dragon. It's wyvern.
I mean, again, this is all honestly opinion-based because when it comes down to it, why do you buy lipstick? I don't see why you buy that. Like, that makes no fucking sense to me. I don't get why anyone would ever buy that. But
you know what else doesn't make sense to me? Shoes that don't fit properly.
Why would you do that?
Are we getting on a rant of, like, consumerism?
No, what I'm saying is that really, it's hard
bad,
to ask. It's hard, sure, you can say, I would never buy that. I think that's stupid. But to tell, like, if someone wants to buy something, I guess that's up to them to buy it. I
Well,
like.
how about voting with your dollars? It comes back to what you said. You're boycotting EA because that's how you.
I don't like the business practices that they make.
And I don't like the way that Call of Duty does their business. So.
Again, as I said, I could totally see with them making, and I agree that I think the game should be cheaper. Because then you're essentially paying for map packs, which makes sense.
Exactly.
But there is other tweaks that are made to the game. The game is different. There's codes. It's like the patches being put in with the map packs.
Then why is it in the patch?
Why isn't it patched? Like, League,
the games are patched.
Riot patches League all the time. Blizzard patches StarCraft
honestly,
all the time, and all of that support is done for free.
I don't know how they build their games. Maybe the way they code it is just freaking stupid, and there's no way for them to patch that coding.
Well,
or maybe they just don't want to pay for it.
Well, that's what I just said. I will back down and say that the game should be cheaper. But coming out every year with patches mixed in with map packs, that makes sense. It's just like an expansion. There's no difference, right?
I don't know, like, let's think here. I brought up Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty. What other games would you legitimately buy every single year? Like, what do you buy every single year and spend additional money on?
I know what Eric would say if he was here.
And
That
All
would
the
be NHL.
That's the way Eric is.
Yeah, but I don't have any because there's no other games that I think for me are worth it. The only reason I get Call of Duty every year is because as a competitive Call of Duty person, it makes sense for me to do it. That's where the community goes, and here's the thing: is a lot of the community still stays with the community still stays. Why we have two gamers roundtable in here?
It's actually Eric.
Hey, speak of the devil.
Talk about you.
We were just talking about you.
Oh,
Go back and
terrible.
watch it.
Moniker and the disguise of the Gamers Roundtable. Hello, Gamers Roundtable. Hello, Eric. We have Eric join us. In case you guys are watching, this is Eric Miller. Hello, Eric.
Hey there.
Friends?
How's everyone doing?
You are supremely late, my friend.
Yeah, I'm only about 2 hours late.
Sometimes we end before now.
We should actually have ended
We
before
haven't even gotten past news, technically.
Yeah. And, yeah. Video games.
I lost track of time. What can I say?
Well, we're talking about buying new games every year in the iterations, and we were just saying how you were like, what games would you buy every year? And for me, it was Call of Duty. And we said for you, it's probably any sports game that comes out.
I like to stay up with the NHL games. We've had this discussion before about how you feel like you need a 3-year break in between to kind of let them work out, newer engines and stuff. But I'm a sucker when it comes to hockey. Other than that, I mean, the Maddens I'll pick up, but everything else kind of like, FIFA. I'll play a little soccer here and there. But I mean, that's really it in terms of must-owns. It's probably just football and hockey.
I have to say, at least you admit you're a sucker.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Take my $60 and have fun with it or whatever. I used to be really big on the sports game, like the winter sports games in PlayStation's heyday, when like the Cool Border series was pretty heavy.
SSX?
SSX was actually after Cool Borders.
No, but that's the one I know.
Yeah, SSX Tricky was a phenomenal game.
I only played the original one.
Yeah, the original and SSX Tricky were awesome games, and those were some of the series that I kind of bought into every year as well. I also was a sucker for Super Monkey Ball.
Get out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was all about the monkey balls. Yeah, Stoops. Other than that, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty hesitant with newer games. Like, you know what really bit me in the ass too was I bought Battlefield 4 like the day it came out, and that was a very good reminder that you should never ever do that. Like, and I think I've told this story on here before too. Like, I bought it, I brought it home, and it was for sale on eBay about 45 minutes later. That is not an exaggeration. I played the game for probably about 25 minutes and was like, "Fuck this," and put it right back in the case. Took a picture of it and put it on eBay. So I don't even care. Whatever.
Oh, Brody, you missed the admission that Eric's addicted to Super Monkey Ball.
Oh, I love Super Monkey Ball.
And there it
Monkey
is.
Ball.
I remember back when Blockbuster was around, and that was a thing. I don't know
Yeah.
about down there in the States, but Blockbusters are gone.
Yeah,
up
we
here.
had. Yeah.
They're
No,
gone
they're
everywhere.
We're all gone down here.
Not in Denmark. They still have Blockbusters.
Oh shit.
How? Is Denmark immune to like bankruptcy or something?
Denmark still runs on rentals.
Anyways, back when that was the thing, and they did video game rentals for my birthday parties. We'd always rent out the newer system, and GameCube was one of them. And GameCube, one of the games we got with it was Super Monkey Ball, and playing that game was freaking awesome. I couldn't get enough of that game. Even when the party was over and everyone's gone home, I'm sitting there still trying to play it.
Right.
That was it. What system are you playing Super Monkey Ball on?
GameCube, I believe.
Mm-hmm. That was the good one.
Yeah, I think that was the main system.
I think that was the first one it came out on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that was ultimately the best. I think you can get it on tablets and stuff now, on mobile devices. I may be incorrect, but I saw it somewhere on a system that I had, and I'm like, I could get Super Monkey Ball right now, and I kind of want to.
You should have got it.
I'm gonna have to check out. Yeah, I love Super Monkey Ball. Amazing game. I agree with you.
Okay, is that the game where you like roll around?
As a monkey in a super ball, or a super monkey in a ball.
Okay, I had this game for my Game Boy Color. It was Kirby's Tilt and Tumble. And I feel like it was probably a rip-off of Super Monkey Ball, and I'm just curious.
Because there's a lot of games that have came after that where you control it's almost based off the Labyrinth game.
Yeah, like this, it was like revolutionary for me because it had like motion controls in my Game Boy Color, and then some stupid pisshead stole it, and I lost the game, and I'm trying to get it back to this day. But it was like it added motion controls to my Game Boy Color, so it was like, you know, you flick it, and he jumps, and then you tilt it, and he rolls that way, and you go down this like 3D style level, like Labyrinth. Oh my god, it was so good.
And then the six-axis controller came out and frustrated. 6 asses!
6 axis controller.
Done. I'm done.
That's what happens when you listen to an hour of Melee talk.
Yeah. That'd probably be a very shitty controller.
Yeah. Shitty indeed.
Mm.
Eric's just over there making his own noises.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on right now.
We're talking about bums.
I figured.
Yes, so anyways, back to the news. If we're done with that, I think we have two more news pieces. One is potentially big. The other one I'm just going to throw out there. Grand Theft Auto 5, obviously coming out on the next generation systems, or the current generation systems, from the last generation systems. And we have a release date. So if you're looking for that, as I am, I don't really like buying these. Like Last of Us did not look worth it to me to buy the upgrade for the PS4. I already have it on PS3.
We did, but we haven't played it yet.
Yeah, like, have you played the game at all?
No, actually, that is a terrible statement because I bought the PS3 version and I didn't even take it out of the wrapper, and then we traded it in for the PS4 version, and we still haven't played it.
Okay, yeah, worth it though, because I've already played it on the PS3, and I didn't see enough of an upgrade to buy it for the PS4 as well. But that makes sense. If you haven't played it, experience it as best you can.
Yeah.
But the only reason I bought Tomb Raider, like the upgraded edition, definitive edition, was because I hadn't played it yet. GTA 5 is going to be the first game where I've already owned it, and I'm going to buy it again because it looks so freaking gorgeous on the next generation systems. They did an amazing job at upgrading that and making it look like a next gen. Like, they're making it worth the money you're putting into it. And as far as I know, there's going to actually be extra content for it too on the next generation.
Iced?
Yeah.
Finally?
So let me get this straight. You're going to spend another $60 to play through a game that you already played through because the graphics are a little bit better?
It's not even, it's just the immersiveness. I play Grand Theft Auto 5 because of the world. It is a true sandbox game where you can just go and just experience the world, and they're making the world better. They're making it so when I'm out in a field, instead of just being in an open field, now there's flowers around me. It changes the atmosphere, and it changes my experience going through it. Because I go into games a very I guess non-masculine. I've let my emotions really go when I can go through a game. When I go through a game, it's about the emotion that I'm experiencing, and changing the atmosphere changes my emotion. And for me, it's going to change the game's experience or my experience with the game. That's why I'm going to spend money on a new on this game. But anyways, the point of this is that it releases on November 18th, very soon for the PS4 and the Xbox One, and January 27th for the PC.
Finally.
There, yes, and that's the key thing is that PC release January 27th, not super far away, still next year, 2015, of course, but it is coming soon. But yeah, that'll be the first one. I might do a trade-in. I have this very OCD-ish thing of needing to own all the games I bought and not trading them in. So I have a huge collection. I like to, again, as we discussed before, show that off in my space. But yeah, I will be buying this one again. Maybe trade it in because have you seen the Eric? Go and watch PS3 versus PS4 Grand Theft Auto 5. Just YouTube that, watch that, and see how big of a difference it actually is. Like you'll be like, okay, I get it. The difference is huge. But yeah, so that's happening. Now here's a big thing I actually want to bring up before we get off. Could be a big discussion, but this is kind of important in the video game industry. So make sure y'all are listening, Sarah, Eric, and Charles, because I want your feedback on this. There's been found and leaked a secret mailing list of senior game journalists. So what that entails is that top game journalists from different companies, Polygon, Kotaku, whatever it be, the top senior journalists are on a mailing list together. And what they do on that mailing list is they discuss what games they should be reviewing, what games they should be ignoring and keeping off the press, and what stories should be being put forward. Essentially, it's censorship. And this is going on on websites all across. Polygon has a guy in this too. So Polygon's not even exempt from this, and that's usually a good source. That they're actively choosing what games they're putting in the spotlight, and they're censoring what information you're getting to see. And it's obviously you don't have to use their sites, but what else are you going to go to? Because there's a lot of people. I'm going to send the link to you guys. Breitbart is the site that found it, but you can actually read some of these emails. One of the things they're really talking about is that Zoe Quinn thing. When that happened, in this email list, the emails going out were basically, let's ignore this, let's not talk about it, we're going to keep it out of the media, because they wanted to hide it. They wanted to cover it up and make sure that people weren't seeing the corruption that was going on.
That's a much larger debate, which we shouldn't probably get into, but...
Yeah, that's huge on itself. I think the idea, though, and the key thing I'm trying to get now is that if they're doing stuff with that, who knows what games are they? Like what information is being censored from us? What are they controlling? We're seeing what they want to see? Are these honest reviews? Are these honest things that we're seeing now? Can we actually trust these sources that we trusted before? And I think to me that's a little bit worrisome. I don't look at reviews too much, but I do from time to time. And it's like, now can I trust these things? Can I trust what they're saying? Are there games that they're trying to hide? Are there developers they're completely screwing over by keeping them forcibly out of the media?
Better question, how much do you trust the media in general?
Well,
like,
of course,
I don't take IGN ratings.
Oh no!
At all, because that's bullshit, right? But
what you do is you take kind of like what a Metacritic would do, but you take multiple sources. I always say before you come to a conclusion, you need at least 3 sources for something, and that's what I would do with reviews. I would look up 3 different things to find the pros and cons. Because again, each person writing these reviews they're people, and they have different opinions as well. They may like a game that you would hate. You got to find out who you like, and Manny actually would push this as well. He'd be proud of this, that you've got to find people that you trust the reviews of, right? But it's now just, if these people are in this mailing list, how how are we sure that they could be screwing over these smaller developers? There's a developer who wants to get their game out. We talked about this person putting their game on their website. Now they want to get it out to people. What if these media places are subduing this person to not get their game out? Because maybe one of these guys had a bad relationship with that person.
Yeah, well, and like, we don't want to get into the whole Gamersgate controversy, but like, that's a big part of what was going on in the reporting industry for video games, is that it's like, who's in whose pocket. And to be completely honest, like, yeah, this is hitting video games hard right now, but this has hit mainstream media and journalism a million times over, so it's like only inevitable that it finally filters down to this specific genre of journalism. Like, it doesn't surprise me. That's the thing. It is like, what is your expectation of the media? It is what it is. It exists for that purpose.
Yeah, and I agree that obviously, and it's undeniable that that's been happening in other media for sure. But sorry. Excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
But yeah, it's been happening in that media, but it's kind of sucks to now prove and definitively see that this is happening now in the media that we care about, or at least that I care about.
Proof that it's become so commercially viable that, like, companies with vested monetary interests can persuade the media. Like, I mean, it sounds like a really capitalistic, stupid view of it, but you only can influence the media to the point where you're big enough to be able to influence the media. So it's like, it's a testament to how big this has all become.
No, and I think you're right in the inevitability-ness of it, and the fact that, look at this industry. It's one of the biggest industries in the world. Video game industry is one of the biggest video game industries in the world, and it's obviously you get to a point where you can people lose control of things, but it's just it's more of a point where that it's saddening, I guess, in a sense that we're seeing definitive proof that this is happening now, and it's like, who can we trust at this point? It's like a lot of people go, I really trust the reviews at Rock Paper Shotgun. I really trust those reviews, but it's like, can I now? And it kind of puts this doubt in me on the entire video game media as a whole. It's like, what can I trust at this point? What's a viable source?
But that's good, because consumer skepticism is important for everything as a whole. Like, you can't just take what everyone is feeding to you at face value. So it's actually positive.
I guess in a sense, yeah, I can get that. I understand that point. Now, Charles, do you have any thoughts on this kind of thing happening? What's your view? Does it change anything for you? Does it not really make a difference?
I don't usually listen to media hype about things, so it's not something that's changed my point of view. If anything, it's reasserted my point of view that I shouldn't be trusting reporting sites, because they're all paid to do whatever it is they're going to do anyway. And if they're in it for the money, which a lot of people would be, then they would be in it for the more money of doing things the wrong way.
Yeah, I think more of the issue I have with this is not just smaller censorship, but there's the fact that they have the ability, because one developer or one journalist doesn't like a developer because maybe as a kid he pantsed him in front of a class, and now this developer is making a game, and this journalist has the power to completely shut him out of media entirely and ruin his potential career. It's something that that kind of bothers me. And that's, I think, more of where my issue lies.
But at the end of the day, the internet is going to let the truth of that situation, like the pantsing situation, hypothetically, it's going to bring that to light in some way, shape, or form. And it's up to us to be intellectual individuals and evaluate the facts and determine your own opinion. Like, that's just the way she goes.
Is it though? Because obviously, I think in the end, but how long until that happens? Because it could be too late. You look at these emails that came out. These emails could have been going on forever. They could have been going on for a very long time, and in that time, multiple careers could have been ruined already. Right? And it's I don't know. It's just kind of there's not much we can really do about it. It's more of just kind of, this sucks, and it's I just kind of want to know what you're guys. Eric, do you have any thoughts on this at all?
Are you talking about that thing with that broad that got all like tangled up in that, like people were posting nudes of her and stuff?
Simplified to the best point.
No, so the idea, without getting into it, the idea was Zoe Quinn was that there was scandalous things happening, and then media again trying to cover up. That was these emails.
First of all right, you want my real take on that? Because I actually read a little bit about it the other day.
Okay.
Number one, that girl is disgusting. So any guy that would sleep with her has mental issues. Number one, so you can't really trust his judgment on releasing those pictures and all that stuff, because apparently she's done this like before.
Yeah.
Where they have like a record of her like being kind of like scandalous with like sending these graphic pictures to people that she works with, which I don't really agree with. I mean, I'm not going to say that she's like falling into that like stereotype, but it makes you wonder if she was trying to like better her like place in her career by potentially using sex as like a motivation.
Well, yeah, that was the idea behind the scandal is that people believed, and then the point of this article though is that the journalists were actively trying to hide that story, and I posted the link. You guys can read the emails, but they were actively trying to hide the story of that. Which means
it was her ex-boyfriend getting revenge, if I'm not mistaken.
No, there were game developers that admitted to having sexual relations with her, and giving her better reviews for it. There was admittance to it.
Yep. Sorry, Sarah.
I haven't kept up to date for like 2 weeks.
No, I don't want to get into any crazy bit. I'm just giving you what has been said. There have been admittance from journalists that was going on, and they had sexual relations with her.
But at the same point, can you take their word at face value? Like, we're talking about the
fact that they're trying to hide
media.
Yeah, but the fact that those same people were trying to hide it in the first place, I think there's some merit in what they're saying, because they obviously didn't want that out in the first place. And again, you can read the emails. There are a couple of screenshots of the emails on that link I posted, if you want to read it. But it's I think it comes down to the fact that sorry, Eric. The point of that article is that they're hiding things, and the journalists have this network to be able to say, hey, let's not talk about this because I don't like this.
I got you. Okay, I got you. I'm sure there is, yeah.
And that's there is, and that's what came out. And my issue more laid in the fact that just because someone doesn't like someone, they could hide that and just potentially destroy someone's career out of it. And that's where I was more bothered by things. Not necessarily the drama that happened with that other stuff. It's just that what could happen and what has maybe already happened.
Gotcha.
It's the way she goes, though. That's the thing. Like, how can you trust media? Once
you can't trust
mainstream, you're bought.
Yeah, I don't. Again, when it comes down to like game reviews and shit like that, I don't care about that. Sure, you could give
You're always.
You can give a specific game all hundreds. Or like every game 100. I don't care about that. That's not the issue. It's the fact that people's potential lives could be ruined from it, right? It's not that I might buy a game that I actually don't like. That's not what I'm concerned about. It's the actual real life implications to people's careers and lives that this story had me bothered about. But I guess again, there's nothing we can really do about it except get the word out there and show that's happening. But as Sarah said, consumer I forget the word you used, skepticism. Consumer skepticism is a good thing, and I guess in that sense, yeah, that makes sense. That I guess it's good that now we're aware and that we can be more skeptical about the things that are coming out. But I think it was more of a rant. Just that it bothered me that something, that kind of stuff was happening. But I think the moral of the story, as Sarah said, is be skeptical of everything that you see and read, and don't believe everything at face value. Moral of the story. So yeah, that was my last big news piece. I don't know if you guys have anything else that you wanted to shout out, but I think I'd love to stay and chat longer with you, Eric, even though because you got here late. But that's the end of.
You did get here kind of late.
The end of I think our discussion today. Unless you guys have anything else. Anything else?
No.
That's it. Cool. So most of those articles I've got posted up the side. So if you've been sitting along watching with us, you can go read out those articles, the things we've been talking about. Thanks for joining along. And again, we do this every week at 7 p.m. EDT. So if you want to watch the Gamers Roundtable next week, you can join us Wednesday, 7 p.m. EDT. And we'll be here doing what we do best, being gamers talking about video games. And we always love you guys joining in and talking with us, so make sure you do that. But let's go down the line, say hello, say goodbye to everybody that's joined us today. Thanks for coming out. So Charles, thanks for coming out and joining us today.
Thank you. I dropped a pen.
And it looks like Charles has actually gotten himself a new name on the interwebs.
What's that? Oh, is it your what was it? Fart box or something?
Something like that.
He's I think.
Oh wait, what was it? Oh, Caps Lock. That's right.
On Twitter, he's now at Caps Lock. So you can
I don't know where that came from.
And check out Charles on Twitter at Caps Lock. And it looks like he's sticking with his old name for his Twitch. So you can go to twitch.tv/cstove to watch him play some video games.
The stovetop.
The stovetop. And down the line a bit, Eric, you don't get to be right away because you came late. Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, for coming out and talking with us today. We had some good discussions today, so thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me. I was the shit instigator. I'm sorry.
No, I think we stayed pretty civil today in the things we talked about. It's good though. You always need things to talk about, and controversy it always helps keep things exciting, So you can follow Sarah on Twitter. I don't know if it's changed, but as last I remember, it's at Yosarar. Sorry if I said that wrong. Good. Yosarar. It's Y0 SAWAR. No.
AR.
Roar. Like a roar, like a dinosaur roar.
That's it.
Just watch the videos, and then you'll be able to see it.
Go watch the other videos, and you'll find her name on there. That's what you got to do. And finally, we'll get you, Eric. Hello, Eric, and thanks for joining us at the end. And coming out,
I'm sorry I wasn't here sooner. I'm a terrible human being.
That's pretty much the consensus.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Well, thank you for at least gracing us with your presence.
Yes, I just wanted to show my face and let you guys know I was alive.
That's all we cared about. So you can follow Eric Miller at EricMiller3 on Twitter, and go see the things he's talking about. See if he does any more of those giveaways that I didn't win anything from. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to rig one so that you can win.
Make sure it's Detroit.
Yeah, it'll be Red Wings gear. Don't worry.
Good. And myself, I don't have the thing at the bottom because for some reason my Chromebook won't let me do it. But you can go follow me on anything at LeafX. That's LIEFX. Make sure you go. Check that out. I actually recently, I'm going to plug it. If you go to youtube.com/GameCore Online, watch the latest video. I did a little bit of voice acting with this guy down south. He made a little machinima, and it's funny to watch and see the final product of it. So go watch that and make fun of it, if you will. But again, follow me anywhere at LeafX. And thanks for watching, and thanks for coming out. We love you guys, and we love everything, everybody, rainbows and happiness and cookies and dogs. And until next time, keep gaming hard.
Yeah.